On Global TV News Express, Department of State Services Director General meets President Tinubu amid surge in school abductions and rising insecurity. In business, Nigerians share opinion over proposed 2026 tax policies. On the foreign scene, Ukraine allies to strengthen United States peace plan at G20 summit. And in sport, Nigeria shines at Islamic Solidarity Games, secures best ever finish. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasem. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, Channel 365, on StarTimes, Channel 276. And now the news in details. The Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Tosin Adeola Ajayi, has met with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa to brief him on the rising insecurity and recent school abductions across the country, including 315 students and teachers from the St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State and 25 girls in Kebbi State. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga said the closed-door meeting covered intelligence updates, countermeasures, and government efforts to curb terrorism and banditry. Those specifics were not given, with further updates expected after consultation with other security agencies. The situation has drawn international attention, with United States Defense Secretary briefing the federal government on the challenges. Moving on, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, has warned that Nigeria's worsening security crisis, marked by rising school kidnappings and violent attacks, is the result of an uncoordinated, politicized, and corruption-ridden security system that leaves children and communities exposed. CISLAC Executive Director Awal Musa Rasfanjani criticized the overuse of the military, diversion of police officers to politicians, and widespread extortion at roadblocks, saying these failures contributed to recent abductions in Kebbi and Niger State. Rasfanjani urged urgent attention and security reforms, stronger intelligence, and coordinated action to rescue abducted pupils and restore public trust. Senator representing Kaduna Central in the 8th Senate, Shehu Sani, has condemned the rising wave of killing across Nigeria and called for urgent unity and collective action from citizens of all faiths. He made the call at the Interfaith Summit in Abuja, attended by Christian and Muslim clerics. Topsy Gimba reports.
At the gathering, Senator Shehu Sani lamented the persistent attacks claiming lives, especially in northern communities, describing the region as a killing field overrun by armed criminals groups. He said the summit itself sends a clear message urging religious leaders not only to speak frankly among themselves, but also make a strong appeal to government for decisive intervention.
I'm bringing you to speak to the power, to speak to those in the position of leadership and authority. Because the mistake we have always made in this country.
The senator questioned how bandits riding on motorcycles continue to terrorize vulnerable communities without consequence, stressing that Nigeria should not be an exception to global examples where Christians and Muslims coexist peacefully.
But our diversity is a blessing. And I can say this from my own personal experience. The nation of Ethiopia, they were Christians when Nigerians were worshiping idols. And they were Muslims when Nigerians were worshiping idols.
The Archbishop Pentecostal from Plateau State, James Majid, said it is time to confront the truth about the killings. He called on authorities to urgently seek external support, if necessary, to halt the violence.
We as Christians and Muslims have come together to say enough of this.
The chief imam of Kaduna Polytechnic, Mala Abubakar Siddiq, emphasized that Nigeria is already in a wartime situation, urging Christians and Muslims to stand together and defend the nation's unity.
That does not stop us from practicing our own different faiths. A Christian will practice his own, faith in his own Christian way, and the Muslim souls. So there must be that, unity in diversity.
Participants at the summit organized by the Africa Freedom Foundation YARI, AFF, proposed various approaches to end the insecurity bedeviling the country. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Johannesburg, South Africa, to represent President Bola Tinubu at the G20 Leaders Summit after the president cancelled his trip to receive security briefing over recent attacks in Kebbi and Kwara State. Shettima is expected to hold high-level engagement with world leaders on the economy, security, climate change, and development partnership during the two-day summit. The meeting themed Solidarity, Equality, Sustainability brings together major economies, the African Union, and key institutions for crucial talks on global and African priorities. Moving away from that, the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has urged women to embrace small beginnings as they pursue financial and digital empowerment. Tinubu made this known at the closing ceremony of the 2025 Renewed Hope Initiative and National Information Technology Development Agency Women ICT Training Empowerment Program. Ubong Usoro reports.
The First Lady encouraged participants to remain confident in their abilities, stressing that growth often starts with modest steps. She said excellence, consistency, and determination naturally draws opportunities and support. She noted that a total of 607 women have been trained under the program, applauding the 2025 cohort for their dedication and willingness to learn new skills that can transform their lives and communities.
I encourage you to apply the skills you have learned, pursue continuous growth, and mentor other women and girls to embrace opportunities in the digital space.
Highlighting the significant contribution women make in Nigeria's digital space, the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency (NITDA), Kashifu Abdullahi, reaffirmed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to building an inclusive digital economy where women are equipped to lead. He revealed that 320 trainees from all 6 geopolitical zones received brand new laptops and 200,000 seed funding, ensuring that they have both the knowledge and the tools to begin their digital journeys.
We must prioritize human capital development, especially for women. When we empower women, we empower families. When we empower families, we empower our communities. When our communities are empowered, we drive national prosperity and inclusivity.
The event ended with widespread optimism as beneficiaries expressed readiness to apply their new skills and contribute to a future where Nigerian women can rise, innovate, and excel in technology. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, says its organs will meet to decide the next line of action after its one-month ultimatum to the federal government over unresolved issues in tertiary institutions expired on Friday. ASU's warning strike ended in October after granting the government a month to address demands including the 2009 agreement review, outstanding salaries, and revitalization funds. While the NLC warns it may support fresh action, the Education Minister insists the government has already met unions' key demands. And now to the health sector, where the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has described attempted suicide as a national public emergency which needs to be looked into with a view to find solutions to ending it. The National Secretary of the National Task Force on Decriminalization of Attempted Suicide, Dr. Ojo Tunji, disclosed this during a sensitization engagement at the National Assembly. Our correspondent Zara Unasir reports.
It was a gathering of the staff of the National Assembly, together with non-governmental organizations working on mental health as well as civil society organizations and some from other relevant fields. The National Secretary of the Task Force on Decriminalization of Suicide, Dr. Ojo Tunde, says the aim of the meeting is to interact with staff of the National Assembly to sensitize them on the progress made so far on suicide decriminalization.
You want to take your life, it is a criminal thing that should be punished. But what the evidence has also shown is that the fear of, if we decriminalize attempted suicide, is going to make it more rampant, it doesn't worth its salt. No evidence has shown that when we decriminalize attempted suicide, that such goes up.
While delivering his speech, the clerk to the Committee on Specialty Healthcare of the National Assembly, Todu Yussi, says the sensitization meeting will help the align both in the Senate and National Assembly to get to understand more the content of a bill that's coming up seeking to decriminalize attempted suicide in Nigeria.
He approved that we have this engagement to sensitize staff about a bill that's been drafted that is coming from the executive seeking to decriminalize attempted suicide in Nigeria. So the relevance of this engagement is to help our line staff.
While presenting his paper on suicide, the president of the Association of Psychiatrists, Professor Teo Obindo, in Nigeria says it's high time for Nigeria to decriminalize attempted suicide in the country, as it's among the few countries still criminalizing it.
Amongst the countries around the world, even within the African setting, we are one of the few countries left who is still criminalizing that attempted suicide. We know that one of the drivers for people to want to complete the act is this criminal aspect of the law.
The sensitization program, which was interactive, shed more light on the upcoming bill seeking to decriminalize attempted suicide in Nigeria. Zahra Unasir, reporting for Global TV News.
Let's now head to Benue State, where Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has strongly criticized United States President Donald Trump's latest comments on Nigeria, describing them as misleading and dangerously insensitive. He warned that Trump's remarks not only distort the nation's security challenges, but also risk deepening religious tensions. Global Television's Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndere reports that Soyinka made the remarks during a courtesy visit to Governor Hyacinth Alia at the government house in Makurdi.
According to Wole Soyinka, Trump's labeling of Nigeria as a country of particular concern and his threat of possible military intervention over alleged persecution of Christians failed to reflect the complex realities of Nigerians' insecurity. He said the conflicts in many parts of the country are rooted in criminality, land disputes, governance failures, and socio-economic pressures, not targeted religious persecution, as Trump suggested.
I have some difficulties. I will not accept aid from a madman. That's all I'm doing. And my definition of a madman, or woman for that matter, is one who, when he or she says, I'm helping you, is actually complicating.
In response, Governor Hyacinth Alia dismissed the allegations as inaccurate and harmful. He emphasized that victims of insecurity cut across Christians, Muslims, and traditional worshippers, stressing that violence in Nigeria does not discriminate by religion. Governor Alia maintained that what the country needs is international support grounded in facts, not comment, that could escalate diversion or misrepresent experiences of its citizens.
So I never denied that my people were killed. I still remain very firm that we have bandits, we have terrorists who come fully organized and destroy people, maim, kill. And the last time we had checked, as I have been consistently again, as I have been religiously stating.
The meeting ended with a joint call for responsible global engagement and a deeper understanding of Nigerian security situation. Both leaders affirmed that the nation's challenges required informed solutions, not oversimplified narratives.
Let's now return back to the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria's capital, which is often known for its politics, its power plays, and its polished daytime calm. But when the sun goes down, a very different side of the city emerges, one full of color, sound, energy, and a thriving culture of food, music, and late-night adventure. Our correspondent, Sadia Yakubu, takes a look into the heart of the Federal Capital Territory to explore the unique sights and sounds of Abuja after dark.
From the shimmering lights of Central Business District to the bustling corners of Wuse, Gwarimpa and Maitama, Abuja transforms into a vibrant playground once daylight fades. Aminu Kano Crescent, arguably the heartbeat of Abuja's nightlife, from high-end lounges to roadside grids, this district comes alive with young professionals, creatives, tourists, and night crawlers, all looking for the perfect blend of relaxation and entertainment. People come here from 7 p.m. all the way to 2 or 3 in the morning. Some just want food, some want a conversation. Nighttime is their peak period. For party lovers, the city offers everything from rooftop lounges with breathtaking views to underground clubs where emerging DJs and artists test new sounds. Abuja nightlife is chilled but fun. You meet people from everywhere, diplomats, students, entrepreneurs. The vibe is different every night. While nightlife continues to boom, many residents say reliable late-night transportation and better lighting in some areas could make the experience even faster, safer, and more accessible. Whether it's food, music, culture, or community, one thing is clear: Abuja nightlife is growing, evolving, and reshaping the identity of Nigeria's capital. Abuja nightlife continues to be a reflection of the city's diversity, ambition, and youthful spirit. From quiet evenings to high-energy parties, the capital truly never sleeps. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Nigeria shines at Islamic Solidarity Games, secures best ever finish. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories. On the other side of this break, please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break. And now to business news, where with the federal government set to introduce a new tax framework in 2026, the debate on Nigeria's economic direction has intensified as citizens express sharp, conflicting views over what the reforms will mean for their daily lives. Kabir Hassan took to the street of Abuja to sample public opinion.
The proposed 2026 tax policy aims to make tax payment compulsory for every eligible Nigerian, as government pushes for wider compliance to boost national revenue. But on the streets of Abuja, the nation's capital, concerns are mounting. Many residents are uncertain whether the new measures will ease the pressure on the economy or compound hardship already facing millions.
Tax reform bill, it can never be impactful to Nigerians.
And the issue of tax is a very good thing. But in Nigeria today, let us be frank to ourselves, it's not good to be of any benefit to the masses.
I don't think it can be of any immense importance to the Nigerian citizens.
About the tax, I really did not say anything bad yet.
To some Nigerians, the policy is a necessary step to strengthen government finances, improve infrastructure, and enhance service delivery. They argue that an organized and inclusive tax system could drive national development if properly managed.
What to do at the end of the day, is there any way to monitor that tax, to see that that tax goes into the right places? That's what we should be talking about.
We pay tax, we are not seeing the effect of tax we are paying. At least we are supposed to see it on social amenities, on health, on education.
It's leadership, it's corruption. Nigeria is blessed with a lot of resources. So it's corruption, it's leadership malfunction.
However, others strongly disagree, warning that citizens are already overwhelmed by rising costs, high inflation, and stagnant wages. To them, introducing additional tax obligation without visible improvement in governance may further strain household budgets.
So what are we channeling these tax reforms to? It's not about doing tax. It's where is it going to? Is there a credible way to see that, okay, this is where the tax is going to, or you just collect tax and then they steal?
People are suffering. People cannot afford basic amenities, and we are introducing tax. I don't think it will go a long way in solving the problem of the ordinary Nigerian citizens.
Policy our president is bringing is, I know it's going to be helpful. If other past presidents might have done all this before, we will not be facing the challenge now. So
as government efforts towards a more compliant tax system continue, public sentiment remains deeply divided. Nigerians say what they expect most is fairness, transparency, and a tax structure that aligns with the true state of economy. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
The House of Representatives has issued a strong warning to government agencies and stakeholders involved in the Naira for crude oil policy, giving them just 7 days to comply with the request of the House or face sanctions. National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick reports.
The ad hoc committee investigating the implementation of the policy says it is fed up with what it describes as gross negligence from invited agencies who fail to appear or submit key documents. Chairman of the committee, Boniface Emerengwa, announced the ultimatum after a scheduled investigative hearing collapsed due to the absence of key stakeholders.
We want to look at the various stakeholders, their complaints, their challenges. At this stage, we will request that you turn in your documents if they are available.
The committee revealed that many of the MDAs had ample notice but still ignored requests for documents needed to vet the Naira for crude policy, an initiative with major implications for Nigeria's economy. Emerengwa warned that the committee will not hesitate to invoke full legislative powers on defaulting agencies.
Let it be known to all stakeholders that failure to comply with this extended deadline will attract severe sanction. This committee will not hesitate to invoke its full legislative powers, including but not limited to issuance of summons, public naming, and shaming of non-compliant entities.
The committee, however, extended the submissions deadline to November 22, 2025, stressing that this is the last chance for compliance. The investigative hearing has now been postponed to December 2, 2025 as final and non-negotiable. From the National Assembly, Anita Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. Ukraine's allies plan to push for adjustment to a United States peace proposal at the G20 summit in South Africa, amid concern that the plan favors Russia and pressures Kyiv to concede territory. European leaders, including the United Kingdom's Keir Starmer, say negotiations must secure a just and lasting peace as Zelensky warns Ukraine is facing one of its toughest moments. The White House proposal reportedly requiring Ukraine to limit its military and drop NATO ambition has sparked strong unease among European Union partners ahead of the talks. In the meantime, United States President Donald Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani have struck a surprisingly warm tone after their first face-to-face meeting at the White House, despite Trump previously attacking him as a communist and threatening funding cuts during the campaign. Both men described the talks as productive, discussing affordability, housing, and public services, with Trump even stepping in to defend Mamdani as reporters pressed him on past criticisms and labels. The meeting capped Mamdani's historic rise as New York's first Muslim mayor, with Trump congratulating him on a record-breaking victory and pledging to help him deliver a safer, stronger city. And now to the world of sport, where Nigeria closed the 6th Islamic Solidarity Games in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with its best performance ever, finishing with 30 medals, including 11 golds across just 7 carefully selected sports. The National Sports Commission says its new strategy of fielding only podium-ready athletes is already yielding results, with weightlifting, athletics, and wrestling driving the medal haul. The Commission's Director General Bukola Olokbade praised the athletes' performance and vowed to strengthen partnership with federations to sustain the momentum ahead of the Commonwealth Games and other global events. Napoli President Aurelio De Laurentiis will stand trial in December 2026 over alleged false accounting involving the transfers of Victor Osimhen and Kostas Manolas in what prosecutors call a major financial manipulation case. Italian investigators allege players' valuation were inflated with Osimhen's deal, including youth players priced at nearly 20 million euros, despite questionable documentation and Osimhen's claim he barely understood the contract's process. Napoli rejects the charges, insisting the accounting is accurate and backed by independent reports. As Global TV News Express comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. On Global TV News Express, we brought you that the Director General of the Department of State Services, Oluwatosin Ajayi, has met with President Bola Tinubu to brief him on the escalating insecurity across Nigeria following a series of violent attacks and school abductions. In business, with the 2026 tax reforms looming, Nigerians in Abuja shared mixed reactions on how the changes could affect their daily lives. On the foreign scene, we brought to you that Ukraine's allies plan to push for adjustment to United States peace proposal at the G20 summit in South Africa amidst concern that the plans could favor Russia and pressure Kyiv to concede territory. And in sport, Nigeria closed the 6th Islamic Solidarity Games in Riyadh with its best ever finish with 30 medals, including 11 gold across 7 carefully selected sports. And that's it on News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Saying a very big thank you for watching.